Hello, YouTube, tabletop players, board gamers, and fans of Marvel United. Welcome to Two Players, One Review. I am Alan.
I'm Matthew, and today we are reviewing Proxima Midnight from the Infinity Gauntlet box.
She is one of the children of Thanos. Her quest in this mission, in this campaign, is to go through and collect the Infinity Stones for Thanos. Pretty fun mechanic that actually built into a nice little gameplay.
It is.
Each villain in the box does play differently. And her goal, her villainous plot, is to slaughter civilians.
And she likes hunting civilians. She really does.
So what she does, we'll show you guys here. Her BAM. She deals 1 damage to each hero in Proxima Midnight's location.
Not bad.
Then discard all civilians from that location and increase her track by 1 plus the number of civilians discarded. So what that means, she goes through loading up the locations with civilians, and if she gets to where she kills 12, game over. Game over. You lose. She not only damages you, but gets rid of these civilians.
I actually like villains with trackers like that because it's just an alternate way for them to win. And it's kind of fun playing alternate win conditions and playing against that stuff.
And I like that they're scheming, they're plotting, they're trying to do a evil plan.
They're not just trying to
punch you down.
Punch you down, basically.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's nice thematics. Now, her overflow, if 1 or more thug cannot be added to the location, deal 1 damage to each hero in her location.
That's not
pretty
bad.
Simple.
That's really not bad.
Now, if 1 civilian cannot be added to the location, increase the slaughter track by 1 for each civilian you cannot add.
That's
can ramp up.
That can ramp up pretty bad. You definitely want to have some heroic heroes, save a bunch of civilians, because if she gets out of control hunting the civilians, you lose.
So overall, I like her goal of hunting civilians. Now, how she does it, we'll go through her deck next. How she does it, stays in place, 0, BAM, and adds civilians to the board.
Which then she uses her BAM to hunt the civilians.
The next card, the 1 BAM, adds thugs. If they overflow, you get damage. A 5 move, no BAM, but she does add quite a few tokens.
And the civilians are after the thug, so the overflow is targeted to the civilians.
Better chance.
The thugs will be the first one dropped.
Next, we got the 4 BAM, some more thugs. Another 1 BAM, civilians.
Base move.
Base move 2, no BAM, but she throws a few more civilians on the board. 2 BAM thugs. And another 3 BAM civilians.
Overall, not too bad.
For her base cards, no.
Not too bad.
Her next cards, she's got 2. And this is cleansing. She does not move or BAM, which on the surface looks good.
That's great.
But discard all civilians in both adjacent locations and increase slaughter track by the number of civilians discarded. Heroes in these locations may take 1 damage for each civilian they want to keep in their location.
That can ramp fast.
That's a lot.
That can ramp really quick.
Her location.
Both adjacent.
Both adjacent.
2 locations that this is going to increase on if there's civilians there.
So if she's got 3 civilians here, 4 civilians here, can that track go up by 7? That's going to be a lot.
That's a lot of increasing.
And the way you counter that is by taking 1 damage per civilian. You really got to balance where the track's at to where your card's at. Again, the 0, no BAM, looks good, but it's pretty vicious.
It's pretty powerful, actually.
And rounding out her deck, last ones we have.
This one on the surface, again, doesn't seem too bad, but it's actually really strong.
Yeah. So the movement here, not your standard base move. What she does is she's hunting. Proxima Midnight hunting spear. Move to the location that has the most civilians. So she's going to pick the town, the city, the area that has 2, 3, 4, hopefully not 5, and she's going to move there. Discard all civilians in her location and increase her track by the number of civilians discarded. Heroes in that location may take 1 damage for each civilian they wish to keep on the location.
But that's almost worse than this one because she specifically targets
Yes.
the location with the most. This one,
she stays in place.
Gets in place, but that one is worse because that hunts down the location.
Yeah.
Not just chances the side.
If you got one across the board that you've been ignoring and it's building up 3, 4 civilians, she's going to jump there
that's
and
going to pop over.
They're gone, and her track is ramping up real quick.
Mm-hmm. That's going to just pop over.
So that's her plot and her goal. Her threats, she's got a 2-2-2 mix. The first one, she's got 2 prisoner camp. For each civilian in this location requires extra heroic to be rescued.
That's tough because then you have to balance, well, should I use 2 on the civilian or should I just use 2 on the location? But then she's just going to go over there and just be like, hello, I'm going to take all the civilians.
Yeah, it's tough. In a game where your sole goal is saving civilians, and that makes it harder to do so.
Especially on 2 locations.
Yeah.
And then she just jumps over and kills them and makes her track go up.
Yep.
And that's tough.
Her next 2 cards, tactical support. She got 2 of those. Each one takes 3 heroics to clear. Heroes in this location suffer 1 extra damage whenever they take damage.
That's not horrible.
It could be from her attacks, her BAM, or the overflow.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, not horrible because you can just avoid that location until you're ready to clear the threat.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in there with a couple heroics. Be there maybe 1 turn, clear it, it's gone. We didn't find that one much of a problem.
No, not really.
And lastly, Masterful Fighter. She got 2 of these. While in this location, Proxima Midnight ignores the first punch used against her each turn.
Again, that's not bad. Really, that's not horrible. She has to be in 2 out of 6 locations for that to be effective.
And for the majority of the game, you can't damage her anyway.
And with a health of 7, that's because we played at 3.
Yeah, her health
at 7.
Her health, just real quick, at 2 players, she's got 4. At 3 players, she's got 7. At 4 players, she's got 10. Not very tanky.
No.
Pretty squishy. And honestly, we found ourselves ignoring that threat.
We didn't. These 2 were definitely the worst of the 2. I'd say the civilian one was the worst because this one, the tactical support, really, you can just avoid the location. If you need to move, just move through it. Or move there, do a heroic, punch a thug, save a civilian, then just move out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even need to stand there.
But with Masterful Fighter, we found ourselves really not needing to damage her in those locations, either early to mid game or late game. If she was in there, we just wait until she moved out and chased her down somewhere else.
And this would be worse if it was thugs needed an extra punch, not her needing an extra punch. That would be worse.
Yeah.
That'd be stronger.
So overall, for the threat missions, these 4 were our targets. That one we just kind of left alone.
Didn't afterthought, really.
Yep. So overall, on how she plays, again, I enjoyed her. I like the ones with the plot where they do something other than just hunting down heroes or fighting, going toe-to-toe. We have to stop her from getting to the civilians. So it changed the way we played as well.
It did. I like the villainous track.
Mm-hmm. And overall, nice addition to the box. Found she was fun to play.
Again, not really difficult per se. These 2 definitely can surprise you when you're not expecting it. And it's interesting how this can deal damage, but you choose the damage. So So if you're at 10,
the overflow.
Needs 12, and they're getting 2, you could choose to take 2 damage
and save the civilians.
To save the civilians.
Overall, though, going into her fight, can't say I was surprised. By reading her dashboard, you know what she's going to do, and you know what you have to do. But still, a fun game to play.
Very fun.
But it was fun seeing a villain that
Plays different.
And makes you play differently. Overall, a nice addition to the box, nice addition to the Infinity Gauntlet campaign. And I like how she plays differently from the other villains in that box.
Very fun villain to play against.
It was. So I hope this helped. I hope you got some ideas on how you should approach her, and if you need to add her to your collection.
Thank you for watching. Click subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds great. Thank you.